Welcome to today's Fireside Chat with Jesse. I am joined today by Ryan Pierra, President and Chief Operating Officer of Tao Solutions. Thanks for joining me, Ryan.
Thank you for the intro, Jesse. I really appreciate it. And honestly, I just wanted to quickly say, we appreciate what you're doing within the industry. I think these types of fireside chats mixed in with the type of activity of getting more of awareness out there and the way that the industry is progressing on the technology space is invaluable for every single person involved. From us as a software provider at Tao Solutions, which we'll talk about, but even from working with yourselves and several of the other what I consider industry colleagues, these types of discussions are invaluable. So thanks a lot to you and your group and team, because that means a lot to us that you're having these.
No, and thank you for those kind words. And, you know, I appreciate you saying that. And it was kind of one of those things where obviously I was with LTI for 9-10 years, and we would typically run against, you know, we'd see you guys up at the CFLA. But when I started with JDR last year, when you showed me the demo of LeaseSpark, I was like, wow, this is a really cool system. How come more people don't know about, you know, what you guys are doing? And, you know, hopefully we can tell that story a little bit to get some more exposure here, Ryan.
I hope so. I appreciate that, Jesse. It's always one thing to build something that we feel is very groundbreaking and very strong for the industry to be aware of. However, it's only as good as somebody purchasing it, looking at it, using it over several years. And that's what we're doing right now. That's what this 2021 heading into 2022 period's about. But I sincerely appreciate the awareness, because getting our message out there and our story is important as well.
No. So Ryan, for those people who might not be familiar with you, do you mind just kind of giving a little background?
Yeah, sure. So I actually joined Tao Solutions back in the fall of 2010. I actually just finished 11 years there. Wonderful company, a B2B enterprise grade boutique software service provider. We're actually, what I would consider our true bread and butter is more in the structured finance and asset finance space. But I mentioned structured finance just because of what we've done over the course of our 11-year tenure as it looks at our Hub suite products, Mortgage Hub and Secure Hub. I myself joined the company really working on some of those products earlier on, and we were actually helping some of the biggest banks implement our software for more bespoke style structuring, ABS administration, cash management, and also mortgage-backed securitization in our native country of Canada. I joined on, Jesse, and sort of helped grow what I'd consider a very strong offering of products and services with a really terrific team. So when it comes to my team specifically, you know, I've been working with them for well over 10 years. We're about 75 people now in 3 operating companies in the world: Sydney, Australia, San Diego, California, and our headquarters in Toronto, Canada. And, you know, outside of just the products and services, a lot of what you do is who you work with. And I can't speak highly enough about my team, their dedication to our customer base, the level of support they consistently provide, their buy-in and understanding of our vision of what we're trying to do with Tao Solutions, and the way that we've marketed and sold our products over the years is a big testament to their help. And I do want to say that because it's very important on who you work with. That means a lot. It means everything to me. Of course, the products and services, they have to speak for themselves, especially as you grow and scale. But it's been a wonderful journey along the way.
No, I mean, let's face it. Our employees or counterparts, colleagues, they're the, you know, organization's #1 asset. So if you're not taking care of them, how can they effectively take care of the customers? So
absolutely,
it's a good point.
And you know, in this pandemic and this work hybrid model that we're in now, there's even a double down on that. If I'm being honest, that becomes a little bit more of the forefront in thought, is a lot on talent retention. You want to make sure that the team that you're working with and that you're surrounded with is excited to buy into the next version of where you're headed and where you're going. And that's part of my job, honestly, here at Tao Solutions, is to ensure that I excite our team as consistently as I possibly can on what we're trying to achieve. And to be truthful, we, as you just said, we are very little to nothing without them. They do an excellent job of helping actually implement our software, build out and architect the solutions, and also support our client base, which is a significant, strong one that we built up over the years.
Great points. And we'll actually be getting into that. And thank you, Tao, thank you and Tao for sponsoring the event that we're having in a couple of weeks here in SoCal, because we'll definitely get into you know, what these last 18-20 months have done to our workforce and ways that we can do to help retain and make sure we're taking care of our employees.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned a little bit about Tao there, but let's go into the software that you guys provide, if you don't mind. Give a little more details on what you do there, Ryan.
Sure. So as it relates really to equipment and asset finance, we have LeaseSpark. LeaseSpark.com specifically, if you ever want to check it out. And from that perspective, we actually have a lot of nice, what I'd consider overview videos and material that actually explain the product quite well. And we do have a US operations that also helps to sell here in the United States. And the reason I want to emphasize that is because a lot of what we've done up until this particular point prior to the pandemic was more on a global scale, yes, but it was, in North America, it was a little bit more Canadian. We've actually changed that, and we have a larger presence here. That Spark product, LeaseSpark, is really an end-to-end SaaS cloud solution for both origination and servicing administration. And it has a lot of modules and pieces in there, Jesse, if I'm being truthful. And I quickly just want to touch base on that and spend a minute there. So we actually have a built-in CRM, a data analytics reporting and dashboard toolkit for building out your own customized reports, which is very powerful. I mean, that basically means that you have a BI, an intelligence toolkit, that dashboard analytics reporting toolkit that allows you to build simple or complex reports. We, as a software provider, also support that. We actually have well over 50 canned reports that were literally built up over, the course of months that we just wanted to have as our initial offering. You can actually take those reports and customize them, or you can build them out yourself as a brand new report. Outside of that, we have a full origination front-end module, credit decisioning, documentation management, obviously e-signing ceremony embedded within, all what I'd consider table stakes, but it's all wrapped up in a nice workflow management solution, which I actually want to talk to you a little bit about if we have some time on that. But we also have a B side of it, the servicing admin side. So we do go through the whole end-to-end for LeaseSpark, and the servicing admin side, when it looks at collateral, collections management, transactional activity, the way that we actually have syndication and securitization for portfolio sets, ring fencing portfolios for analysis, cash flow management, and downstream accounting, I might add, is also included in LeaseSpark. So it truly is the end-to-end system and what we consider the essential asset to asset finance. So we hope that more and more people are aware of us because of the strong offering that we have from a feature perspective, as well as our strong track record of what we've implemented for. Secure Hub and Mortgage Hub, they're a little bit more of that MBS, ABS administration solution for structured finance. We have a very strong track record there. We actually have well over 50 implementations of our products and services dating back to 2010. And actually have never had a failed implementation, I might add. I think that's always important to mention because we have a very strong, successful track record of not only having our customer clients go live, but also retained and staying on the product. We've never lost a client. It's just an important piece of that support and customer satisfaction angle. For us, it's always about the journey. It's kind of like, think of the marathon. It's always interesting to get through that sprint, Jesse, but the marathon is still the marathon. And, at the end of the day, you have to respect the way that you're going along that journey. And, we're only as good as the clients that we also keep. That's a very important message and part of our vision of understanding a Tao Solutions. So we do have 3 products, Mortgage Hub, Secure Hub, and LeaseSpark. But in this particular industry of equipment and asset finance, LeaseSpark is definitely what we're here to promote, discuss, challenge the industry with in the right ways, in the sense that we always think of our client competitors as colleagues in the industry. We work with them as well at the ELFA, NEFA, and CFLA to have different types of discussions on, what they're doing, what we're doing, how we can maybe even help one another. We're very much here not to, just steal customers. We're here to actually gain trust within the industry, which I think is a very important part of selling your software.
Oh, and that's spot on. And I know you were getting into some of the workflow stuff and everything else. So where I wanted to go after that introduction, Ryan, was what trends are you kind of seeing,
Sure.
in this technology space?
Yeah, I think the word automation, which we've been using forever, Jesse, is becoming a little bit more of a focal point of what that means. Simply putting something in a system is not always automating it. In my opinion, in our opinion, in the sense that you can always take it further. And what we tried to do with that and what LeaseSpark does, and where I feel the industry is not only headed, but is right now here, especially in this work hybrid model and the pandemic that we were going or coming off of. That's a debate to see. Of course, we know lots of people are still unfortunately challenged and suffering from that, which is awful. But the reality is a lot of us have still gone back to the office, and we're getting slowly back to the office. But we're also having a lot of people work remotely. So the automation piece and the workflow management tool associated with it is critical. It, to me, is table stakes. I feel like that is where you want to, immediately have your foresight and understanding on. And I understand if you're a company that's really been working on legacy software or Excel spreadsheets or stuff off to the side on a napkin, like, I get it. Like, we've seen a lot of stuff along the way with a lot of the different clients that we work with in this particular space. And the reality and the truth is that we're always looking to make sure that we can close the gap, but not overwhelm. That's important too. And workflow automation kind of helps that, because if you have a nice toolkit, and picture it this way, Jesse, you walk into the morning, on the left-hand side, you have a full analytics dashboard based on your permission set of what you are and what you do. So if you're a credit officer, you're an inside sales rep, or maybe you're somebody who's working on the administration arm, accounting, financial controller, you have a very specific tailored dashboard. It's giving you statistical analysis information that you built up, that you can spot check in a second, or it's emailed to you to look at in the morning. And you kind of have all your analytical data to look at. And by the way, it's important that all of that is within an API friendly, API agnostic style system. So you're actually having the most competitive advantage that you possibly can, whether you're looking at investments or funding or whatever it may be. You just want to have the most access to the relevant data you can. And you need a system that's able to preserve that and also provided in a very discernible format on the reporting end. That's one side of your two monitors. The other one should be a nice flow of what exactly your team or you is working on. So long gone should be the days where you have to log in and double check, did I do that for that deal? Or wait a sec, did we get that document yet? This borrower hasn't actually applied correctly, or that should no longer be a question. I'm shocked if that's still a question sometimes, because there's so many tools and techniques out there that can help. And our workflow management tool in LeeSpark, and the trend of where I feel the industry is, shows you a nice dashboard review proactively of the upcoming tasks that you're going to be working on. It alerts you on if you're in a what should you review and approve. It alerts you on the current stage of every single deal based on your permission set, of course. It's an auditable checklist every time you perform a task. It automatically records that. It's provided in a report, so you don't have to worry about that auditable checklist. You actually have a nice dashboard and a report or reports that handle that for you. And it's a proactive measure that you keep going along in each stage of the deal life cycle. And it's going to basically alert you and tell you exactly what's next. And it's fully configurable. You as a team get to configure that. And I feel like that, coupled with data analytics, Jesse, is probably what I consider the table stake trend technology for now rather than the future.
No, and that makes sense. And I know you mentioned that you guys are an end-to-end. Do you have people that come to you and they say, hey, we just want LeeSpark to do lease accounting? Is that an issue whatsoever?
It's just interesting that you say that, because I have to say that when we first went into this particular market, we took a look at everything we could. And that was interesting, because there are definitely siloed differences, obviously. I mean, forget about front end versus back end, but even what you just said, accounting versus somebody who works as an inside sales rep who might be interested in CRM and, analytics, as an example. Absolutely, we can achieve that. We modularize the product as well. If you want to, and we have done this already, by the way, if you want to just look at the front end, or if you just want to look at the back end, or if you just want to look at securitization, syndication, and accounting, we can piece that off for you. We want to make sure that we're supporting as many people in the industry as we possibly can. So from an architecture perspective, even when we built this, Jesse, we had that in mind. We knew that, especially when you're selling in the United States, I have to say in particular, you have to be very flexible. You might be working with an external CRM that's got to interface with your system, and you might only do the front end or the back end piece. And then you have to work with the external GL, obviously, of course, but also maybe a potential external reporting platform, because people are tied to that versus using our end to end. That's okay. We can do that.
No, and that's where I was going with that question, because it seems to me like one of the technology trends that I'm seeing, Ryan, is people want to build their own sometimes, and they don't want to be limited by a software's inability to present data in a format that you can easily get in and get out in real time.
I agree with you completely, and you have to be flexible in software. I will say that, because there are many pieces to the story of each individual client that we speak to. The Tao Solutions story and implementing with us is a great one for them to talk about. We're very lucky and honestly fortunate to have very strong clients that we've worked with for 11, 12 years now. And by the way, that's a testament to our company growth is only because of them and their loyalty. I will say that very, very much so. I always mention that, Jesse, because it's important to note there. But the truth is, we have to be very flexible when we go to the table to come up with the type of solution design. You don't just have to take it or leave it with Tao. That doesn't work. We actually have to be flexible with you. We have to understand how our software can be flexible with you. And we want to realize your more competitive goals. That's part of this process.
At least you as the president of the organization understand that. And that's really important, Ryan. So that's
thanks,
great
Jesse.
to hear.
I mean,
it's great to hear.
It's absolutely the truth. Without that understanding of what we're trying to realize from a perspective of customer satisfaction on forget about day one, forget about even day 365, 2-3 years from now, we're expecting that to only grow. And we try to do our best with different Tao directs, I might as well say, just because that's important. From a user conference, user group area, we have these Tao directs that showcase our products, our upcoming features. It's also just a way to say thank you to our clients consistently about, this is what we have upcoming for you. It's part of your agreement. You can upgrade to this. This is what it looks like. That's an also important piece and part of what we do, Jesse. And I might just add that in, because upgrading with software should be graceful. And sometimes it's not always. I mean, you always have to go through upgrade periods that can be challenging. I mean, I won't deny that can always be an interesting story as well to tell. But I will say that you don't want to have some heavy burden overhead costs, internal and external, to do so. You want to have an understanding with the team that you're working with and the type of product that they sell and the type of offering that they have. Can you grow with the product without having to worry about a lot of external costs? The answer to that with Tao Solutions is absolutely yes. That is our model. You grow with the product. So it's almost, and I'm going to use a very industry popular term, or what's going on right now in the Microsoft space and world. So if you look at the way that they've done their Xbox system dating back to 2013 up until what they have today, that is their model. Their model is really that, no, you don't have to purchase the latest. You could actually have that, but we'll upgrade you accordingly and make sure that you have the right experience along the way. We try to do something very similar, to be honest.
It's interesting. I like that approach. And like you said, I mean, no upgrade is ever easy. And I think that's one thing that a lot of people see. And it's, what can you do to take those steps and try to ensure the best possible customer experience, or I guess end user experience possible.
Exactly. Exactly. You just said it, the best customer and end user experience. Absolutely.
And then just kind of switching gears a little bit here. I ask everyone who comes on here to tell a little fun fact about themselves, Ryan. So sorry to kind of put you on the spot there, but
sure.
What would you like to share?
Fun fact about me, well, I am a very large playoff basketball fan. I'll say that very first and foremost. I almost laugh when I'm saying it. The regular season means very little. The NBA playoffs means everything. If there's a second Christmas or even a first one, that's where it's at for me. Very large NBA fan, dating back to our 2019 Raptors, who won the championship in Toronto. And I actually have had a very decent start to this year, I might add. So I would say that when it comes to being competitive when it counts, I love that. And that's what I love about the NBA playoffs and sports playoffs in general. Me personally and myself, if I'm being truthful with you, Jesse, I have a passion as it relates to my own life and actually helping people with significant chronic ailments. That's actually something that I do for coaching and mentoring. It's something that I'm aware of from my own life and my own experiences. It is something that will continue to be a part of my life forever, to be truthful. I want to make sure that I can touch as many people as I possibly can in the area of what I'd consider chronic ailments, assistance, and coaching. I think it's something that has become even more relevant over the past couple of years. It's very much something that I'm a passionate person about. I actually have several people here in San Diego that I partner with on these podcasts to talk about that type of activity. And one of my friends, actually, Rob Mendez, he just wrote a book, and it says, "Who Says I Can't?" I recommend this to everybody, and it's not a plug for Rob. If you go look up Rob Mendez's story, he won one of the ESPY awards one year. He's been featured in Sports Illustrated a little bit. He's also just a terrific guy and an amazing football coach. And I almost don't want to say too much. Go read the book, Who Says I Can't? Rob Mendez,
Okay.
phenomenal. But his story and stories that are similar to that resonate very well with me around my circle of close friends on what we're trying to do to help people with chronic ailments is always at the forefront of my mind. So that's kind of a fun fact, if you don't mind me sharing that one.
No, absolutely. And that's amazing. And it's amazing that you're looking to help other people and give them a path when they might not see any light at the end of the tunnel. You're providing that for them. So that's excellent. And we'll have to get into that in a little bit more detail when we're together in SoCal here in a couple of weeks, because I did
Absolutely.
not know that.
By the way, very excited about the Equipment Finance Cares Conference. I know for me, it's just a drive up since I'm in San Diego, but that actually is a second home anyways in that area. I love coming up, I should say, to that place. And I can't wait to meet with you and several others in the industry. It's a terrific event. We're happy to support it. Thank you for including us, I might add.
No, not a problem. I'm happy for your support. And yeah, we have some good panels put together, and it'll be a lot of fun. I mean, the first two have been very impactful. We're already working on our events for next year. So I think this one here, based on SoCal and California in November, I think we might just keep that there, but maybe we'll do San Diego next year. So we'll see.
Yeah, let me twist your arm there a little bit, Jesse, and then maybe have another Tao Direct user conference directly in San Diego. I think some of our clients would enjoy that as well. But yeah, I would love that. Please keep that in mind. I'm going to hold you to it.
And just kind of wrapping up here, Ryan. I know we've kind of walked through why Tao Solutions, but let's just sum it up again. Like why choose you? Why choose Tao? Why choose Lee Spark?
Sure. I feel like Tao Solutions' track record on implementation activity, the level of customer care, client satisfaction, referrals that we're happy to provide as well, I might add, mean a lot to us. That is really our track record. It's, as I said, it's about retention just as much as it is on acquisition, if maybe even more on retention, if I'm being honest with you, because you want to stay loyal to everybody that came before who's still with you. So Tao Solutions believes in that. That's a message that we preach and speak about often with our team. Our team believes in that. We want to make sure that we satisfy our customers' needs, not just on day one, but in the future years to come. That's an important piece of who we are as a flexible software provider, and what we've done from even just bespoke implementations that can have a lot of different moving pieces. Our track record is strong. We want to make sure it continues to be that strong. I thank our clients sincerely for that, because without them, we don't have that story. And the truth is, the B side is on our products offering. And I could go on and on about more of the structured finance style stuff that we've done with Mortgage Hub and Secure Hub, which is they're phenomenal. They do a very good what I consider workflow management in area as well, and what we showcase with those products. But the truth is, Lee Spark is a really strong brand new offering. And when I say brand new, we have quite a few clients already implemented with our software, but we're here to make a big splash with it. We made a significant investment looking at every piece of what I'd consider the end-to-end flow for origination and servicing, and what that entails, and the pain points along the way. And we made sure that we addressed that as much as we possibly could with a slick system in place. And as I mentioned to you, data analytics, workflow management, automation, and also the way we look at syndication securitization. Those are not necessarily table stakes in every solution. They are in ours. That's what we promote. That's what we show. We don't charge an arm and a leg for it, I might add as well. It is something that is very affordable. It comes off from the perspective of what you're trying to achieve with it. As you mentioned earlier, Jesse, we're flexible to modularize it. If you just want to use a piece of it, that's okay. We want to hear from the industry. We want to, show you the product. We want to actually get that more into people's hands so they can actually see that and actually use that over a course of period of time, because that's just going to help us with the understanding of, honestly, our reward is more of the way that it splashes in the industry and the way that it grows our client customer base, but through an organic growth period. We're not here to just push it into a few people's hands. We'd like to see the story really develop over time.
Well, excellent, Ryan. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time today. Look forward to seeing you here in a couple weeks. And
can't wait.
reach out to Ryan to ask him for a demo at LeeSpark.
Absolutely. You can look at taosolutions.com. You could look at leespark.com. My first name dot last name at taosolutions.com. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'd be happy to field everything and anything that comes my way. And Jesse, thank you again for your time today. It's been invaluable. I appreciate you thinking of me and Tao and also giving us this opportunity, sincerely.
No problem, Ryan. Look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks, man. Have a good one.
Sounds great. Thanks, Jesse.
Take care.